In this video, we're going to show you how to install the vapor canister vent solenoid on your Ford Focus, located in the EVAP canister in the back of the vehicle. Now in the back of the vehicle, you're going to locate the vent canister here, or the EVAP canister, and it's right behind the gas tank. Now the two hoses we need to disconnect, they both have lock tabs on them and they're tough to get to. This lock tab here, there's going to be a little clip here, and on the top, just use your finger to go ahead and push that lock tab back. It's going to expose a yellow button that's visible from the bottom, but what you don't see is this one on the top as well. Those need to be both depressed or pinched in order to get this hose off. Now, if you can't get your finger on the top and one on the bottom to squeeze this and pop it off, I am going to go and use a 90-degree pick. That's going to go on the top. I'm going to use a flathead screwdriver on the bottom. I'm going to pull in on the top, push up on the bottom here, and work this a little bit. Those buttons should stay depressed or pressed in, and then we should be able to work that off. There it is. You gotta pop that off. You may not be able to remove it completely, but it is separated. There we go, get that off. Now just in front of that connector there is going to be another one here. This has an orange connector or locking tab on it. You're going to slide those little lock tabs over and push that over here. These don't always play well, but there we go. Set is now released. And just slide that back over. Now when we slide this orange lock tab over, same thing. There's going to be a push tab on the bottom and one on the top. Now on this one here, we're using some hose pliers. And what these are, they look like this here. And I'm able to get up and pinch those two tabs and release that one there. Okay, with those two released, there is a vacuum tube or a vent tube further up. We need to go ahead and release that. Now right on the back section here is a rubber hose. We're going to use our hose pliers, how fitting, and we're going to pinch this and try and twist this off. I'm going to try a screwdriver in here as well to try and work this. There it is. Now the canister itself is held in place by three 10mm nuts. We're going to use our deep socket extension and our gun, our impact gun here, to loosen these nuts. And then we're going to switch to the other side here. We want to put our socket and extension up between the back of the gas tank and the rear suspension beam here. Now that we have all three of those nuts removed, we're gonna go ahead and grab the canister and we're gonna pull it down. Now what we gotta do is we need to access the electrical connector on the back side, or it's actually the front side of it. We're gonna pull our canister down. And ideally what we wanna do is gain access to that front side here to disconnect the electrical connector. Now as we pull this forward, here is the electrical connector that goes to the component we need to replace. So it's gonna be a little pinch tab on the back side. You wanna go ahead and pinch that and pull that harness off. All right, gonna reach up inside here, push down on that tab, disconnect that harness. Now with that disconnected, we go ahead and grab our canister and just maneuver this down and out. Now we have the canister on our cart and want to go ahead and undo this here. In most cases, you can grab the component and rotate it counterclockwise, but ours is kind of stuck. I'm going to use my hose pliers to assist in this, to go ahead and rotate that. And we should get to a point where we can actually pull this out. There it is. It's a bugger because this rubber O-ring that's on here seals pretty tight. Now on the canister itself, if you clean this off, to the left and right of this tab, there is a little unlock and a lock. All right. Now, before we install the component, that is important to know, but on the inside of this port, if you take your light, there's going to be two tabs that stick out into the hole, and these are locking tabs. Now we went ahead and we put a bit of silicone paste on our O-ring here. We're going to take the unit here and we're going to line it up to the lock, and we're going to push in. And then we can go ahead and rotate this around until it hits the lock tab right there. Our unit is ready to install. Now I want to go ahead and unthread the locking tabs here that will hold in the back side of our EVAP tank. Now what I had to do is I had to bend these tabs out in order to get the tank out. In order to install it, we're going to unthread these. Do it to both. Now we're going to be reusing these here. If yours are rusted and falling apart, it's highly recommended you go ahead and replace them, or you could probably just use a washer over the top of them or underneath the nut to go ahead and hold that in place. Now that we have our tabs off, I'm going to simply grab my pliers and I'm going to bend these back down. And take these here and slide them over. You want it to be tight. And then do the same with the other one here. Simply pinch this here to close it up. And then when you install it here, just going to spread it gently, pop it over, and there we go. Now when we install this here, the teeth on the back side here are simply going to slide over the stud, lock it into place, and hold it there. And we're going to have the same thing on this side here. This one here is decayed a little bit, but it is working, so we're going to go ahead and try and salvage this one here. But if it's broken, simply what you would do is the nut that you would use to secure. When you slip this up into place, you could put a washer over the stud and then put the nut over it, and that'll capture and hold it in place. Now we're going to feed our vapor canister up in a position. We're going to install our electrical connector while we have the room to do so. Once we have that connected, we're going to push it all the way up and get the 3 nuts installed and secure the unit up into place. From there, we're going to install our rear vapor tube, followed by the 2 locking hoses on the end. All right, we can hear that click into place. Let's go ahead and line this unit up. We're going to push it onto the studs. Now that we have all of our metal tabs lined up, push that up into place. I'm going to go ahead and get the nuts started here. Just gently snug that down and get the one behind it here. All right, snug that one down, and then we'll get the one in the front. Now that we have the canister installed, let's go ahead and install the hoses on the side. All right, let's go ahead and get that rubber hose on the back. Just simply push that on. Get this vapor line on here with the orange lock tab. There we go. Make sure the lock tab is disengaged. There it is. You need to line this up. So what I'm probably going to do, I'm going to try and push that over with my screwdriver and work that into position. All right, feels like it's fully engaged. Push the lock tab over. That's locked on. Let's go ahead and get the other vapor tube up top. Same thing on this one here. Make sure the lock tab is disengaged. It's got to go all the way towards the back. I'm able to reach up behind the gas tank and grab that flex hose, that plastic line here, and kind of maneuver that down in a position. There we go. We have it on the tube. We just need to line it up and pull it on. There it is. And then, as long as it's on all the way, then we should be able to engage the lock. Just unlocked right there. Just want to make sure this is seated all the way. There it is. We just heard it click in, and then we can go ahead and push that lock on. There it is. Now that we've completed the installation here, if you happen to have a check engine light on inside the vehicle due to this canister purge, you want to go ahead and use a scan tool, clear that code, and they can go for a road test.
When only the best will do, demand TRQ. The only company that lets you view before you do. TRQ is committed to offering the highest quality aftermarket auto parts that are engineered for peace of mind. Thanks for using and viewing with TRQ.